God, you're good at that, Mark. Hey, Struman here, Steve Strusinki, one of the Full Outdoorsmen. Thanks for listening to my little gig here. I want to thank our sponsors. We got Coors Light. As a matter of fact, here we go. Ah, that's a Coors Light. We got Coors Light, Lakes Trading Company. Thanks for you guys. Lakes Trading Company in Forest Lake, the best gun shop in the East Metro by far, probably even in the Twin Cities. Whatever you need, Lakes Trading Company will take care of there in Forest Lake. We have Devil's Lake Tourism. Devil's Lake, as a matter of fact, Mark, I think you're going December 16th, aren't you?
I'm not.
You're not?
Because of the baby.
Jeez, where's your priorities? My God. Anyway, I'll be up at Devil's Lake with Tanner and the gang. I'm guessing Boomer's going to be up there on Devil's on the 16th. And Devil's Lake Tourism's taking us out, trying to catch a few walleyes, a couple perch. I'm looking forward to that. And then we got Lumacraft, of course, and we'll be in Boomer's, not Boomer's, but the Lumacraft. Here comes the man going to talk about Lumacraft tonight. And that'll be at Devil's Lake sometime in the middle of December. I'll tell you what, still deer hunting season, at least in Wisconsin. I haven't heard a whole lot of reports about Minnesota or Wisconsin just yet, but we all have memories, of course. And when I was about 8, 9, 10 years old, my old man worked at a place called U.S. Gypsum Roofing Company. He only got 1 week vacation a year, and that 1 week was up in Ely, Minnesota. 2 weekends, 5 days, and that was it. And it was a big, big part of his life. And so it was exciting for me to know that wasn't so important to him. He and his brothers-in-law would always have a big meeting 2 weeks prior to the season. And it was a drinking meeting, but it worked out. They had a lot of things planned as well as exactly right down to the menu as to what they were going to have every day. They knew they were going to get deer, and they got a lot of deer back in the early 50s and 60s when I started in the 60s as well. So the first time, it was exciting for me to wait for the old man to come back. There's no cell phones. There's no communication in the hunting shack. You just pray to God he comes back in one piece and see if there's any deer on the trailer. Once in a while, they bring a bear back as well. And I couldn't wait to be part of this, okay? And Dad wouldn't let me go until I was 13 years old. Wouldn't let me go to the meeting until I was 13 years old. So the first time I got a chance to go to the meeting and do that and hear about all these stories, and then you get a chance to go up to Ely, Minnesota and sit on the top bunk and listen to these guys bullshit about hunting. And they all had great stories. Now the cocktails are flying. And every once in a while, there'd be some little discussions as to what's going to be happening the next day. So the first opening day I'm supposed to go, my old man was kind of hungover and didn't get out of bed. And I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. All the guys are already out in the woods, and my dad didn't get up till like 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I'm with him. He wouldn't let me. I had a 12-gauge shotgun, no, a 20-gauge shotgun. He would not let me put a shell in the chamber until I was sitting down. And so I got a chance to go with Dad. He's hungover. He's walking through the woods, and he jumps a big old swamp buck and drops it in one shot. It was a monster buck. He was just that quick. My dad had a great reputation as a great hunter. And all I remember was asking my dad if I could shoot it when it was down, but he wouldn't let me do that, obviously. So after a couple of days in the woods, he taught me how to use the compass. I don't ever remember having any kind of a gun training whatsoever, but my old man would let me walk the woods and not let me put a shell on the gun until I was sitting down. The third day that I was up there, he said, all right, here, I'm going to teach you about, tracking a little bit. I'm going to walk 80 yards in front of you. You just kind of follow my footprints, a little bit of snow on the ground, and you stay right behind me. Make sure you keep me in sight. I can do that, Dad. I'm 13 years old. I'm feeling cocky. Haven't been lost in the woods yet, and we all have done that. I'm doing this for about 45 minutes. I'd lose sight of my dad. I'd see him again, lose sight of my dad. I'd see him again. All of a sudden, I see my brother Dave. He's about 40 yards behind me. He hollers out, "Hey, Stevie, where the hell are you going?" I said, "I'm following Dad." He goes, "I am Dad, God damn it." And that was my first experience of hunting. Had a lot of chances in Ely, Minnesota, but everyone's got their first experiences. Keep them up. And thanks for listening to the 4 Outdoorsmen. We're getting ready for a show. Thanks, everybody. Hey, Zeb.
Well done.
Hey, man.
I gotta find my